Hello everybody, my name's Nerdy Lover and welcome to another episode of our football betting series here on YouTube, La Liga edition. I'm not going to lie to you, things did not go very well for us last week as we lost all three of our bets and took a total hit of £50 sterling. We're down £70 of the month in La Liga and have a 0% win rate. So thanks very much for watching. That's the end of this episode. But if you do want to stick around to hear what I think about for this weekend, we can hopefully start to turn this thing around. Not much else to say, so let's just jump into our selections for the weekends, the 14th and 15th of October. Kicking things off for us, we have 14th place Girona hosting 19th place Cadiz. And last time out, Girona lost narrowly to Atletico Madrid by 2-1. Girona actually took more of the ball in that game with 55% of the possession. Both sides have similar amount of shots with 13-11. Despite these positives from the game, against one of the better sides in the division, Girona have now lost each of their last 3 consecutive matches. But I may suggest that these 3 games are matches in which they didn't expect to win anyway, so we're going to try and take the positives from these results. Statistically, Girona are scoring 1.4 goals per game from 1.3 chances created, so they're even converting half chances. And they don't need much to get on the scoreboard. Girona have no clean sheets so far this season and have conceded 1.8 goals per game, which is not great, but it perhaps justifies their position of 14th in the table. The away side, the opposition, Cadiz, have started to turn things around. They secured a 2-2 draw against Espanyol last week, costing us a tenner, and they are now unbeaten in their last 3 La Liga matches, with 5 points in their last 3 games. Cadiz's goal record is slowly but surely getting better. They now sit at 0.4 goals per game from 0.8 key chances created, and similar to Girona, Cadiz are conceding 2 goals per game. Based off this, I do think that Girona have the slight statistical edge over Cadiz, and I'm thinking this recent turnaround in form is a blip and not anything to be extrapolated too much from for Cadiz. I'm going to put a half stake on Girona here because I don't know what I'm doing in La Liga anymore. So there you go, £10 on Girona to beat Cadiz in bet number 1. Bet number 2 sees 7th place Valencia hosting bottom of the league Elche, and Valencia riding high. They're coming off a 2-1 win last time against Osasuna. This does mean Valencia are now unbeaten in their last 3 games and have only faced defeat in 1 of their last 5. A bit strangely, the opposition have managed to get a man sent off in each of the last couple of games for Valencia. So we know one thing for certain, and that's that Valencia are excellent against 10 men. This being said, Valencia have scored 1.8 goals per game from 2.6 key chances per 90, and they only concede 1 goal per game, so things are looking up for the side, which finished 9th place last season. Elche did manage to get a draw in their last game, narrowly avoiding defeat against Mallorca. This does mean that Elche have put an end to the 5 straight losses, but they do remain bottom of the league. They are only managing 0.5 goals per game from 1 key chance created per game. They do concede almost 2.5 goals per game. I think Valencia have an excellent chance to win here at home and continue their winning streak. I'm going to be backing them with a full stake as the first leg in a double, which we will complete shortly. Rounding off our double, we do have 5th place Betis hosting 15th place Almeria. And Betis managed to salvage a draw last time against a poor Valladolid side. They did play with 10 men for the best part of an hour, following the sending off of Shaman Paeza. And it was disappointing to draw the game against a side which you think you should win, but when you are playing with 10 men for such a large portion of the match, I don't think Betis will be too disappointed with the draw. Betis have scored 1.3 goals per game from 1.9 key chances per 90 and have a very strong defensive record, only conceding 0.6 goals per game. Last weekend, Almeria ended their run of 4 straight losses with a 3-1 victory against Rayo Vallecano. And Almeria may have turned the corner slightly, but they do lose out to Real Betis in every major statistical category, scoring only 0.9 goals per game. Although this is in line with their 1.1 key chances created, they do concede a goal and a half every game. The head-to-head record doesn't give us much to go off, as these two sides have not faced each other in the league since 2014. I like Betis here, at home, to complete our double, and we're going to have that for a full stake. Our next selection sees 11th place Celta de Vigo hosting Real Sociedad, who sit in 6th. And Celta Vigo lost in their last game by just the 1 goal against Barcelona. This does mean they have only won 1 of their last 4 games, scoring just over 0.5 goals on average in this sample size. They have conceded 9 goals in this time as well. This does continue a downturn of form for Celta Vigo, and they have now dropped out of the top half of the table. The away side Sociedad continue their strong start of the year, with their most recent victory 1-0 against Villarreal last weekend. This does mean that Sociedad continue a streak of 5 wins in all competitions, and they have only lost 1 of their last 9 matches. Sociedad do score 1.6 goals per game from 3.6 chances created, so there's a lot of room for improvements on the goal scoring front with the amount of chances that they are supplying the strikers. Sociedad do concede a less than stellar 1.4 goals per game, but they are outpacing the opposition on average. When we look at the head-to-head record, Sociedad have won each of the last 4 encounters, outscoring Celta Vigo by 9 goals to 2. Now, whilst both these sides average approximately 9 shots per game over that sample size, Sociedad do outcreate Celta Vigo, 3.25 compared to 1.25. I do believe that Sociedad have enough to get at least a point on the road, so we're going to be laying Celta Vigo in our selection here. Saving the best for last, we do have El Classico on our hands. Real Madrid sit in 2nd place and they host the table-topping Barcelona. Now, Real Madrid did grind out a 1-0 win against Getafe, and each of their last 3 wins has only been by a single goal. But the key point there is that they've all been wins. That's the sign of a side that could compete for the title when all is said and done. Real Madrid score an admirable 2.4 goals per game from 3.6 key chances per 90, which does mean they do have the potential to score even more. Los Blancos are also defensively sound, conceding 0.9 goals per game. The opposition, Barcelona, come into this one off the back of their 1-0 win against Celta Vigo, and this continues a run of 7 straight wins in La Liga. Looking at the head-to-head record, Real Madrid have picked up a win in 5 of the last 6 El Clasicos, but this being said, Barcelona did win the last game by 4 goals to 0. Results appear inconsistent for me, but what is consistent is the amount of goals that we see in each of these games. Over 2.5 goals has come in each of the last 5 competitive meetings between these Spanish giants. This season, Real Madrid featuring games that average 3.25 goals per game. When we look at Barcelona, this number sits at 2.6 goals per game. So what I'm thinking for this El Clasico is over 2.5 goals for a full stake, and that's going to wrap up the episode. So let's quickly jump across to the spreadsheet to give a small recap of the games that we are thinking of backing this weekend. And we're hoping to get off the mark with a first win in October. Back on the spreadsheet, as you can see, we do have 4 selections for this week, and we're hoping to try and turn a profit here in Spain. Kicking things off with Girona versus Cadiz at odds of about 0.91, a £10 stake to return £9.10 on Girona to win. Next up, we do have a double, Valencia and Betis to pick up the win at odds of almost 6 to 5, £20 stake to return £23.40. Moving across to the Sunday, we think that Sociedad will get at least a point against Celta de Vigo as we are laying them at odds of almost 1 to 2, £20 stake to return 11. And then finally, El Clasico, we're thinking over 2.5 goals to make it 6 games out of 6 in which there's been at least 3 goals, a £20 stake to return £12.80. So across the 4 bets, we're going to be risking another £70 in order to hopefully pick up £56.30. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you did make it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below. My name's been Nerdy Lover, and as always, have yourself a lovely day.